Seeing the manufacturing process of the giant nuclear power plant installation, I finally realized who the real boss behind the EU is. A split base which can be crafted by less than 10 people, with a total weight of 160 tons, even the cleaning of the construction layers can be remotely operated by all-terrain robots. When the finished product appears, everyone is amazed. This is a large local factory in Germany. New Beelkamp has dozens of companies around the world. Even in Qingdao, the first step in manufacturing the casting is to fill ladles with molten iron and transport them forward, then transfer them in batches to each crucible. The entire process is remotely operated by employees above, effectively avoiding the risk of burns from molten iron explosions. Now entering the second step of the process, workers are removing steelmaking oxides, which are slags that consist of excess elements produced during decomposition. These slags are not useful for the molten iron and crucially increase heat loss, making slag removal particularly important, and the molten iron becomes purer. However, before casting, there is another important step: measurement. A large thermometer is placed into the ladle, and the temperature is fed back in real time through the equipment. Thus, the front position can see the temperature used in this round. The casting process enters the third stage, and due to the exceptionally large size of the casting, weighing 160 tons, the factory transports all the crucibles to the casting platform and prepares them on both sides before pouring them together. This prevents uneven temperature differences caused by prolonged pouring. It must be said that the protection for workers on site is very well done. Everyone must wear heat-resistant suits, and right in front is another set of castings weighing about 136 tons, or, after a week, the casting weighing about 160 tons in this round can also be officially opened. The steel strands used appear exceptionally thick, with a diameter comparable to an arm. After a little over 5 minutes, this side was finally hoisted up. Now let's start scraping the other side. Compared to the previous side, the steel strands here are very tough, and it took 2 employees quite a bit of effort to hook them up. Now it can be officially hoisted. Here's something you might not believe. Although this thing has been buried underground for a week, you can still feel a noticeable heat wave during the hoisting, especially the surrounding soil layer, which feels warm to the touch. But when it comes to quality, it's all about the steel strands. Just 2 of them can pull out a 160-ton weight, which reminds people of the immensely powerful hidden giant, the mighty obstruction cable. It is transformed into a military supplier. At this point, it already has the general shape of a bow and arrow, and they begin dusting it off from the front. If you look at this thing from the outside, it might not seem that big, but when compared to an adult man, its size is instantly magnified. Then they use a drone to steadily place the bow and arrow onto the vehicle body. Hodu thoughtfully added a layer of sand to serve as a cushion. Once all the equipment was assembled, they moved forward. Next, they began to clear the surface sand. This robot may look like a baby still drinking milk, but that doesn't affect its powerful strength. With just a few moves, the stubborn sand was cleaned up thoroughly. Let's talk about the principle of this machine. As seen in the footage, it uses a ball head to create vibrations, thereby breaking up the surface sand. Moreover, it can be fully controlled remotely, which is quite advanced in itself. However, in China, it's unlikely that many bosses would buy it, as it seems to be just idling around. If you use a polishing machine, everything can be cleaned. In the blink of an eye, the bow and arrow are crafted and formed. What do you think of such meticulous craftsmanship from Germany?